Welcome, everybody. Greetings. Welcome to the program. This is the Zero Dark Tony channel. I am Tony D, your host. Welcome, welcome. So today, it's crazy. Some crazy breaking stories tonight. We're looking at one of the most shocking claims that, let's go here. One of the most shocking claims of this entire war. So multiple reports are circulating that Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, has been killed in an Iranian airstrike as full-scale war erupts across the Middle East. But at the same time, Trump is making it crystal clear, no deal, no ceasefire, no easy way out of this conflict. And right now, we don't know what's confirmed, what's disinformation, and what's pure fog of war. So we're going to go through it together live. I've brought all the reports together for you right here at your one-stop shop. The world is watching every statement, every piece of footage that we can verify. And I want you in the chat, and I want your eyes on this, and I want you to give your takes on what's really happening. So before we dive in, hit a like so this emergency stream actually gets pushed out. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. And, we're going to break it down. These Netanyahu death reports, Iranian airstrikes. We have so much on deck today. But first, we have some of President Trump gaggling the press on Air Force One. Let's have a listen.
So we have a lot of things to talk about, but there's not much I can say to you about them. So one of those little problems in life. And we had some very good results today, as you probably heard, in Iran. Very strong results, militarily results. We're talking to countries about policing the straits because they are the ones, we don't get oil, very little, 1%, 2%. China, as an example, gets about 90% of its oil from the Hormuz Strait. And nice to have other countries police that with us. And we'll help, we'll work with them. Militarily, as far as I'm concerned, we've essentially defeated Iran. I guess they can have a little bit of fight back, but not much. Not much. We've taken out their air forces, we've taken out their navy. We've taken out their air defense. There's no air defense whatsoever. We've taken out their leadership times 2 or 3. Might be 3. We'll find out soon. But militarily, it's been amazing. We attacked Karg Island, and we left just the one little area standing, and the standing part is where they have the pipes, all the oil pipes come in. And we can do that on 5 minutes notice. We have it all locked and loaded and ready to go if we want to do it. But we chose not to do it. I chose not to do it yet. We'll see what happens. They want to negotiate. They want to negotiate badly. I don't think they're ready. Just on what I'm hearing, they want to negotiate badly, as they should. But I don't think they're ready to do what they have to do. But I think they will be ready at some point. But we're doing very well with respect to that whole situation in Iran. We are talking to other countries about working with us on the policing of the strait. And I think we're getting good response. If we do, that's great. And if we don't, that's great too. But remember, like as an example, in many cases, they're NATO countries. We're always there for NATO. We're helping them with Ukraine. It's got an ocean in between us. Doesn't affect us, but we've helped them. It'd be interesting to see what country wouldn't help us with a very small endeavor, which is just keeping the strait open. That, by comparison, it's small because Iran has very little firepower left. Their missiles are down to a low number. You see, they're shooting very few of them. You know why? Because they don't have very many of them. And because we've decimated their manufacturing capability. Likewise, the drones are way down. They're down to about 20% of what they had. Still have some. And they're pretty tough. But the drones are down, and we're starting hitting, as of yesterday, we're hitting places where they manufacture the drones. the strongest military anywhere in the world by far, not even a contest. And I think people understand that. And we will finish the job.
Mr. President, which countries have said that they will help?
Well, I can't say yet. It's a little early. They were contacted today and last night. But we've had some positive response. We had a few that would rather not get involved.
Is China one of them?
I don't want to tell you about that. I mean, I can't really say for sure, but China's an interesting case study. They get most of their oil, as you know, by far. They get a lot, about 90% from this.
Let me check the temperature. Put a 1 in the chat if you support Trump. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not. Let's see who's in the room. Everybody here is welcome. I want your voice to be heard. So 1 in the chat if you support Trump. 2 in the chat if you do not. All right? We want to hear it all.
Great. So I said, would you like to come in? And we'll find out. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. You know, there's some other deeper reasons why they may not. They should come in my opinion. It never made sense for years. If you go back and look at what I've said years ago, I said, why aren't we maintaining the Hormuz Strait when it's really there for China and many other countries? Why aren't they doing it? And that's because we had weak leadership, to be honest with you. But I'm bringing it up now because I think even long term, I think it's something that other countries should help us with.
How many other countries, Mr. President?
And again, remember this, about 7. We talked to about 7. Just remember that it's something that we don't need, and these countries do need. And yet for years, it's like, for years we've been maintaining it, doing a great job. And now that the war is, now that they've been diminished in terms of military, their military has been greatly diminished. I think it's a good thing for other countries to come in. Now, it would have been nice, as I said to the Prime Minister of the UK,
Hit that like button for me, guys.
was reluctant to put his 2 aircraft carriers into harm's way. That would be 2 weeks ago. And as soon as we demolished, essentially, pretty much demolished them, not over yet, but pretty much we're in great shape. Let's put it that way, as everybody knows. He said, we'd like to send our aircraft carriers. I said, I don't want them after we win the war. I want them before we start the war. So whether we get support or not, but I can say this, and I said it to them, we will remember.
How soon, sir, would this begin?
Well, it start immediately, but it will take a little time to get here. Some of the countries have minesweepers, that's good. Some of the countries have a certain type of boat that could help us. Some of the countries would be, helpful. Remember, it only takes a couple of people to screw up the strait, a couple of terrorists. You don't need, their military is defeated, but all you need is a few people dropping mines here and there, and, you louse it up. So we need, I'm demanding that these countries come in and protect their own territory, because it is their territory. It's the place from which they get their energy, and they should come and they should help us protect it. You could make the case that maybe we shouldn't even be there at all, because we don't need it. We have a lot of oil. We're the #1 producer anywhere in the world times 2, by double, at least double. Now I think it's much higher than that. But we do it. It's almost like we do it for habit. But we also do it for some very good allies that we have in the Middle East.
Sir, you mentioned that Iran wants to make a deal. However, earlier today, we heard their foreign minister say they never said they wanted to make a deal, that they'll do whatever they can to prevent Iran.
What they tell you and what they tell the public, I just put out a truth about their disinformation. I assume most of you saw it. But they use AI.
Make sure you help me out with that algorithm, guys. Hit that
Abraham
like button.
Lincoln, one of the largest ships in the world, an aircraft carrier, and they show pictures of it burning. It was never attacked. It was never burning. The Wall Street Journal put out a false story that 5 of our big, beautiful tankers that we feed the planes with, give the planes the gas, jet fuel, hundreds of thousands of gallons of gasoline, that they were all essentially destroyed. They weren't destroyed at all. In fact, 4 of them were not even, literally were not damaged. and one of them has slight damage and will be back in the air soon. But if you read the Wall Street Journal, it's like they were totally decimated and destroyed, like Iran has been. So they put out phony stories. The kamikaze boats. The kamikaze boats don't exist. They're fake. And you can almost see that when you look at them. It looks great, yeah. Because if they did exist, we'd hit them just like we hit other boats all over the place. But they don't exist. In fact, some of the people say, where are the boats? Well, how come nobody's seen the boats? You know why? Because it's AI generated. It's fake. And I found, I didn't realize this before we started, but Iran is known for a lot of fake news. And they deal with our fake news. And I actually think it's pretty criminal because our media companies, who have no credibility whatsoever, are putting out information that they know is false, and it's a very dangerous thing for the country. I think they could be in serious jeopardy.
Mr. President, your PAC put out a fundraising email a couple of days ago, and it's being criticized for using official White House photos of you at the dignified transfer. And the PAC is also promising access to secret.
Well, I was at the
briefings.
dignified transfer, unlike a lot of other
Do you
people.
think it's an appropriate email to send? Your critics are saying that your fundraising.
I didn't see it. I mean, somebody puts it out. We have a lot of people working for us, but there's nobody that's better to the military than me. And all you have to do is look at the election, look at the election results, look at the kind of votes that we get, look at the poll numbers. There's nobody that's ever been higher as a president than me with the military.
Can you give a comment on the 6 dead soldiers? ABC News.
One of the worst, most fake, most corrupt.
Can you give a comment on the dead
You know what,
soldiers?
ABC News? I think it's maybe the most corrupt news organizations on the planet. I think they're terrible.
Can you give a
Okay,
comment
I don't want any more from ABC.
Hit that like button for me, guys. I appreciate
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Welcome.
What's Israel doing to help secure the Strait of Hormuz?
They're working with us. The
President Donald
relationship
Trump
with Israel. That was
and a
other
Air Force
fake
One
news. They were
threat
saying, "Oh, did I have an
and we
argument
have
with me?" But no, we
coming up.
really get along well. And he would tell you we're leading the whole thing. And I don't. They can say it or not say it. It doesn't matter. The main thing is to get it done. But my relationship with Bibi Netanyahu is, I would say, extraordinary. Actually.
If I can
Yeah, go ahead.
when
He says his relationship with Netanyahu is extraordinary. All right, so these are some clues as we look into this.
you called for the people of Iran to rise up, overthrow the government,
I did.
what's going on there? They haven't done that. You expect them to.
You're dealing with thugs. You're dealing with horrible people. You're dealing with people that are violent and vicious. And that's the leadership and the people right under them, their military or their police. And they've notified everybody, and they put out statements that if you protest, you're going to be shot and killed. The protesters have no guns. And I know you're a brave person, but I don't think you'd be protesting. And so I think it's very hard for them to protest. I fully understand it. They said, if you protest, you will be killed. A week ago and 2 weeks ago, they killed 32,000 protesters, at least. We think the number's much higher than that. They shot and killed 32,000 protesters who were greatly enthusiastic and want to see a change because they've destroyed the country. The people that are running have destroyed the country. But think of it, they shot and killed much more than 32,000 people. Now they put out a notice 2 days ago that we're going to shoot and kill any protester. And they don't have guns, meaning the protesters, they have no guns. So I can fully understand why they're not doing it. Oh, one other thing that was AI generated, they showed about 250,000 people in a square saying how much they love Khomeini. Totally AI generated. It never took place. The media knew it didn't take place, but they built it up like they have great support. They don't have support. And that whole rally that they had 4 days ago, that they said was fake. It was AI generated. AI can be very dangerous. We have to be very careful with it. But the rally, because I was actually surprised to see, because I know how much the people hate this leadership. This leadership has destroyed the country. The rally that everybody, including ABC fake news, your network is the worst, but everybody put that rally on. Like, oh, and even I was surprised. I looked. It turned out, I found out today, it was a totally AI-generated fake news story put out by news organizations in the U.S. and elsewhere. And honestly, they really shouldn't be allowed to do it.
Mr. President, are there any diplomatic talks going on between the U.S. and Iran at all right now?
We're talking to them.
What are the
But I don't think they're ready. But they're getting pretty close. I don't know that I want to make a deal, because you know what? First of all, nobody even knows who you're dealing with, because most of their leadership has been killed, as you know, right? So
Hit that like button for me, guys. Help me out. Over 1,000 in the building.
I don't even know that we want to make a deal.
It's the right
You mentioned that Iran's military
They want to make a deal
Right.
badly, yes.
Mr. President, you mentioned that Iran's military has been decimated economically in other ways. Are you ready to officially declare victory?
No, I don't want to do that. There's no reason to. I think I'd just say they're decimated, but I wouldn't do that. I think that we've done damage to them right now. If we left right now, it would take them 10 years and more to rebuild. But I'm still not declaring it over. Our military is incredible. The job they've done is just incredible. And the problem is that when you look at fake stories written by you people, written by and generated by AI, it's incredible. And I just wonder, like, Jeff, do you know that these are fake stories? Did you know that the rally of 250,000 people, the supposed rally, was fake? Did you know that?
I saw the reporting on it.
But you wrote about it. You talked about it. And you knew it was fake. It was AI generated.
No, I didn't know it was fake.
You did. You knew it. You knew it.
Sir, have you talked about
Anybody that knew the country knew there's not 250,000 people willing to stand in a circle and say how great Khomeini is. Okay.
So are you unhappy that
You talk about the military objectives.
Yeah.
What about political leadership in Iran? What type of leadership
We have
needs to be-
people, some are dead, but we have some people that we think would be good, and we will see about that.
Is that a requirement, sir?
It's something we talk about. See what happens.
Sir, you talked about selling oil futures.
5,000 Marines and sailors. Can you explain
You're
why
a
you're
very obnoxious person. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I wanted to ask if you talked about about selling oil futures as a way of capping prices, trying to keep prices down at the pump.
The prices are going to come tumbling down as soon as it's over, and it's going to be over pretty quickly.
Do you have any concerns about the political impacts of this? I mean,
I have to do what's right. You know, political, I'm sure everybody has concern. I have to do what's
Tell me in the chat what you guys think some of the political impacts of this will be, because there's a whole slew of them. Let me know in the chat.
right. I can't say that, you know, gee, I don't want to have any impact on oil prices for 3 or 4 weeks or 2 months, and we're going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon and blow up the entire Middle East and beyond, right? Because, you know, they were going to blow up the Middle East. If I didn't terminate the Obama horrible deal, the Iran nuclear deal it's called, if I didn't terminate that in my first term, they would have already had a nuclear weapon, and they would have used it immediately upon getting it. And if I didn't send in the B-2 bombers to bomb the hell out of it and obliterate, and that's what it was, we obliterated that site and stopped all their potential nuclear. If I didn't do that, you would have had Israel and the Middle East hit by nuclear weapons. And we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
You have your Iran.
What I did in terminating the Iran nuclear deal, and what I did in sending in the B-2 bombers, it was one of the most incredible attacks anyone's ever seen. Late at night, dark, no moon, and every single bomb went right down those chutes and blew the whole place apart. If I didn't do that, you would have had nuclear warfare in the Middle East, and I think Israel would have been obliterated. I think lots of the Middle East would have been. And you saw that when they sent thousands of missiles to countries that didn't expect anything. They didn't think they were going to be involved. And yet you look at what happened with Kuwait, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. You take a look at Qatar. I mean, they sort of got along. And all of a sudden they're being barraged by missiles. These people would have used nuclear on the entire Middle East. And that was their plan, take over the whole Middle East. And it failed with the nuclear. And then they had thousands of missiles. And for the most part, largely, we've now destroyed those missiles. Thank you very much, everybody.
One other
Thank
topic.
you.
Can you tell us about Cuba?
Yeah.
You're talking to Cuba. What do you want to hear from them, and
Well,
what is that risk for them?
I am holding Cuba. Cuba's a failed nation. Cuba also wants to make a deal, and I think we will pretty soon, or either make a deal or do whatever we have to do. We have a lot of great people that happen to vote for Trump. Not that that matters, but we have a lot of great people from Cuba that were violently and viciously thrown out of the country, and worse, their families were killed. And so we're talking to Cuba, but we're going to do Iran before Cuba.
And what is at risk?
And you know,
for
people
Cuba?
have been waiting 50 years to hear this story with Cuba. When I left Palm Beach today, there were thousands of people on the road. I'm sure you saw them. And they were from Cuba and from Venezuela, all friendly, waving the flag and waving the American flag. They've been waiting 50 years for what's happening with Cuba. So I think something will happen with Cuba pretty quickly.
Do you have
but
an
when you
opinion on the Iran school strike? Is it looking more likely that it was the U.S.'s fault? Maybe the Iran school strike that happened on the first day of the war?
We don't know. That's under investigation.
Mr. President, what do you want to see in a deal with Iran to end the war, and how does that differ from Israel's objectives?
I think we have similar objectives, really, but could be a little bit different. You know, they're there and we're very far away, but I think we probably have pretty similar with Israel. The relationship has been very good. The militaries are very well coordinated. Ours is the strongest by far in the world, and they have a real good military, you know, really good. They have a lot of our weapons. They have our planes. They have our missiles. They have our Patriots. They have a lot of our weapons. We have the best. We make the best weapons in the world. And now what we're doing, as you probably saw, we have the Raytheon and all of the Lockheed. All of these companies are now building plants because we don't want to wait. We make the best weapons, but we don't like to have to wait for them. What we do have, though, is at a very high level, we have unlimited weapons at a medium to high level, and they're really doing the trick. And we're not using they call it the elite weapons, because frankly, they haven't, outside of the original attack, they haven't been necessary.
Sir,
But these companies are building facilities, and they've already started all over many of them are building many buildings right now to make so that we wait 2 weeks instead of 2 years for weapons.
So last week you said that we're nowhere near sending ground troops to the Middle East. Are we still
I
in
don't
that
talk to
situation?
people like you about that. I mean, why would I tell you I'm sending or not sending? I don't talk about a military strategy. Who would talk about? I mean, who would answer a question like that?
Do you have a comment on the 6 service members who passed last week?
Who else?
What do you want to see in the deal? Because earlier you said reportedly that...
Well, you start off with there will be no nuclear weapons. That's where it starts. And then on top of that, there's plenty of things that we're going to get. Thank you very much.
Comment about Israel?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So now we're going to step over to an interview with Abbas Araghchi. He is the Minister of Foreign... Hold on a second. He is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and we've heard from this guy before. He's waiting for boots on the ground, and, you know, it doesn't look like it's getting any closer to a resolution, but let's hear him.
We turn now to the Foreign Minister of Iran, Abbas Araghchi. Good evening to you, sir.
Well, good evening to you. Thank you for having me for the second time.
Yes, and they are extraordinary times. Minister, President Trump said this weekend he is not ready to make a deal with Iran because the terms aren't good enough yet. His administration is saying this war could last another 3.5 weeks or so. Has Iran asked for a ceasefire?
No, we never asked for a ceasefire, and we have never asked even for negotiation. We are ready to defend ourselves as long as it takes, and this is what we have done so far, and we continue to do that until President Trump comes to the point that this is an illegal war with no victory, and there are people being killed only because President Trump wants to have fun. This is what he has said.
have fun?
We are not. Yes, this is what he said, that they are sinking, ships and targeting different places because it is fun. And the Secretary of War has said that there is no mercy. And this is actually a war crime. Even saying that is a war crime. So this is a war. This is a war of choice by President Trump and the United States, and we are going to continue our self-defense.
Well, that may be your position, but sir, this is a war of survival for your government. Minister, don't you have to negotiate and reach out either directly or through a third party?
No, it's not a war of survival. We are stable and strong enough. We are only defending our people from this act of aggression, and we don't see any reason why we should talk with Americans, because we were talking with them when they decided to attack us, and that was for the second time. There is no good experience talking with Americans. We were talking, so why they decided to attack us? So what is good if we go back to talk once again?
Well, I want to come back to that in just a moment. You're referring to the diplomacy with President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his envoy, Steve Witkoff. But just to continue on this, Iran is sending its drones and its missiles into your neighboring countries, American allies throughout the Gulf. Before the war, your government traded with them, you had relations with them. If your government survives this conflict, how do you go back to doing business with countries you're sending drones into and hitting civilian targets?
Well, obviously, these are the countries who have given their soil to American forces to attack us. So what can we do? We just sit and watch that American forces are attacking us from their soil. And
but your drones are going into civilian areas and hitting plants and hotels and civilians.
No, this is not the fact. We are only targeting American assets, American installations, American military bases. Everything belongs to Americans. And this is a fact that they are using their soil. There are many examples. Just yesterday, they attacked our islands using HIMARS artillery rockets, which are low-range, rockets, and they used the territory of UAE to attack us. A week ago, 3 F-15 jet fighters were shot down, apparently by a friendly fire in Kuwait, but nobody asked what they were doing in Kuwait. They were using Kuwait and airspace of a neighborly, a friendly country to attack us. So it is obvious we cannot just, remain,
well, so many of these countries are part of CENTCOM, but this is the point, is that it's going to hurt your country in the long term. But when we talk about the Strait of Hormuz, which is such an important transit point for global trade, you have said it is closed to Israel and it's closed to the United States. The Financial Times is reporting that European diplomats from France and Italy are talking to your government about trying to get safe passage for their ships. Are you open to restarting oil and gas vessels going through there?
Well, we are open to countries who want to talk to us about the safe passage of their vessels.
You are negotiating with France and Italy?
Well, I cannot mention any country in particular, but we have been approached by a number of countries who want to have a safe passage for their vessels, and this is up to our military to decide. And they have already decided to let a group of vessels belongs to different countries to pass in a safe and secure. So we provide them security to pass, because we have not closed this strait. They are not coming themselves because of the insecurity which is there because of the aggression by the U.S.
I want to ask you again about the negotiations. Iran has declared it has 440 kilos or so of nuclear material. Where is that material now? Who has custody of it?
Well, we have not declared. This is verified and declared by the agency.
That's
this
right.
Is not a secret. This is not a secret, you know. The agency have said in his many reports the exact amount of our enriched, nuclear material.
Yes. So where is it now? Who has custody of it?
So they are under the rubbles. You know, our nuclear facilities were attacked, and everything is under the rubbles. Of course, there is the possibility to retreat them, but under the supervision of the agency. If one day we come to the conclusion to do that, it would be under the supervision of the agency. But for the time being, we have no program, we have no plan to recover them from under the rubbles.
Am I understanding you here? Because I know that you said 48 hours before the U.S. strikes happened, you had personally offered to President Trump's negotiators to take that 440 kilo amount of 60% enriched material and to dilute it. You said Iran was ready to give that material away. This was in the deal that was also presented to Vice President Vance by Oman. Today, is Iran still willing to let go of that enriched uranium?
Well, that was one of the elements of a deal that we were negotiating with our, American interlocutors. That element dealt with the question of Iran's 60% enriched material. And I offered actually that we are ready to dilute those enriched material or downblend them, as they say, into lower percentage. So that was a big offer, a big concession, in order to prove that Iran has never wanted nuclear weapons and would never want them.
Are you willing to give that up now?
Well, there is nothing on the table right now. Everything depends on the future. If any time in the future we decide to enter into negotiation with the U.S. or other interlocutors, we may decide what to put on the table. For the time being, nothing is on the table.
There are at least 4 Americans being held at Evin prison that we know of, including a journalist, Reza Valizadeh, and Cameron Hekmati, a 61-year-old man. What is the status of those Americans? Are they safe?
Well, if the U.S. and Israel do not attack our prisons, I guess they are safe.
Foreign Minister, we are running out of time, and I can see the internet is going in and out here. I just do want to point out, you're speaking to us via Zoom. The Iranian people don't have open internet access, but you do.
Oh.
Why?
Well, because I'm the voice of Iranians, and I have to defend their right. So this is why I have access to internet to just have our voice being heard by the international community. But internet is closed because of the security reasons, because we are under attack, we are under aggression, and we have to do everything to protect our people. In any country, there are urgent measures taken for the sake of war.
Minister, I'm glad the uplink worked to talk to you right now. We thank you for your time this morning.
So he gets internet, nobody else does. Okay. All right. So let's go over to the White House. There was a press conference a few hours ago. No doubt we're going to hear some comments from the president and whoever's sitting on this dais that is relevant to the Iran conflict. Let's have a listen.
It's always present, unfortunately.
There we go.
I'll say a few words about what's happening in the Middle East. And if you have a couple of questions, we'll do that, and then we'll get on with our board meeting. So, thank you very much for being here. We
Hit the
have
like button for me, guys.
a wonderful group of very, very smart, talented patriots at this table. Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many, many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated, their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. They've been a terror for 47 years, and now I guess the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones, and that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today, and it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half. That has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour. And as you know, we attacked Karg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes' notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word and the pipes will be gone too, but it'll take a long time to rebuild that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero. And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in. But we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. The countries, I said, we've already taken care of Iran, but now, because of the fact that literally a single terrorist can put something in the water or shoot something or shoot a missile, a small missile, and it's fairly close range because it is a tight area, and which is one of the reasons they've always used that as a weapon. Iran has always used that as an economic weapon, and it's not going to be able to be used very long. Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me. We have some countries where we have 45,000 soldiers, great soldiers, protecting them from harm's way. And we have done a great job. And when we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor. Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left. But they said, would rather not get involved. I just want the fake news media and everybody else to remember that that was said, because I've been a big critic of all of the protecting of countries, because I know that we'll protect them. And if we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time, just like I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago. I predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book. You can even check. About a year before the World Trade Center came down, President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it. And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait for blood. I mean, these people literally need it. 95% of their energy or their oil comes out of the Strait, and they should be in here very happily helping us. And it's incredible. We have such great, we're number one in oil by double now. We drill, baby, drill. We're double any other nation, and it's going to be soon triple any other nation. And that doesn't include Venezuela, who's been great. By the way, the relationship with Venezuela has been fantastic. Millions, literally millions of barrels of oil are being taken out, and it's been a great help, and it's been to their great benefit. The president has done a really good job. We get along with him really well, but we've taken out millions of barrels of oil and brought to Houston and other places for to the refineries. We have refineries set up specifically for that, and it's been a great relationship, and more and more is happening. It's a tremendous oil source, and we're getting we're stepping it up very rapidly. The big companies are going in, and they will actually numbers in a pretty short period of time, numbers that they've never been able to do. We'll be doing. There's a lot of oil under that land. We strongly encourage the other nations to get involved with us and get involved quickly and with great enthusiasm. I have that from a number of them, and I'd like to say their names, but frankly, I don't know if they would want me to or not, because maybe they don't want to be targeted. But I say, wouldn't matter if you're targeted or not, because this is a paper tiger that we're dealing with now. It wasn't a paper tiger 2 weeks ago. It's a paper tiger now. So now we're going to get down to the reason. We'll take a couple of questions in a moment, but we're going to get down to the reason we're here today. Actually, this was set up a long time ago. It's the Trump Kennedy Center. Over the past year, we've made incredible strides to restore
so we're going to jump over to another story here. This is Qatar's foreign ministry spokesman. All right, he's the head of the foreign ministry over there in Qatar. And they are coming out talking about how some of these strikes need to slow down so that they can get some diplomacy going. Let's hear.
With respect to the unfolding development following the aggression on Iran and the efforts being exerted for de-escalation and giving precedence to diplomacy, the foreign minister of Egypt also delivered the message while visiting the state of Qatar. His Royal Highness also received a phone call from the Egyptian president where he renewed the Egyptian condemnation of the hostilities and aggressions against the state of Qatar,
Mahed Al-Ansari,
expressing their preparedness to provide all forms of assistance. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Qatar, commended the position expressed by Egypt. His Royal Highness on Friday last telephoned the Sultan of Oman, Haytham bin Tariq, where he offered condolences.
And we in Qatar take any threat seriously. We take the safety of people, citizens and residents in Qatar very seriously, and therefore we took the precautionary measure of evacuating these areas, and we will continue to do that if there is any perceived threat that might threaten the lives and the safety of our citizens and residents. The evacuations were done orderly, and the evacuees have now returned to their homes and their places of work. And we are confident that the mechanisms in place to protect people have worked, and this is part of it. And the evacuations, as I said, were a precautionary measure. On what you said regarding mediation, I think we have heard both sides say that there is no active mediation that is taking place right now, meaning the Iranians and the Americans. We haven't seen any official records of this. We are unaware of any official mediation that is taking place right now. تفضلي.
Today, we have been talking about coordination at the GCC level. How far have you reached? Previously, you stated that Qatar will continue to seek amicable and diplomatic efforts. However, you maintain the right to respond. First, with respect to the coordination at the GCC levels, you may have seen, communication is ongoing almost on a daily basis, be it at the level of officials or the leaders and heads of states or the foreign ministers. The coordination and communications are ongoing on a daily basis, and we also...
So what he's essentially saying is stop bombing so that we can get down to business and solve these problems. We're going to push now on to the... I thought there was going to be more English in there. What can I say? We're going to push on to the Netanyahu story here because I think this is important for everybody to see. We're going to sort of watch a little bit of a timeline here of the rumors of his death, and now there are reports of his death. So everybody hit that like button for me. Let's keep it going.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants the world to know he is in fact not dead. In response to claims Netanyahu might have been assassinated over the weekend, the Israeli Prime Minister posted this video on his Telegram account. The entire video is in Hebrew, but in a translation, Netanyahu says, quote, "I think coffee is to die for. I think my nation is to die for." Netanyahu also spoke about the situation in Iran, saying in Hebrew, according to the New York Post, translating, "We are doing things I cannot share at this moment, but we're doing things. We are hitting Iran very hard, even on this day, and in Lebanon, we are continuing."
Rumors about Netanyahu's death erupted over the weekend after X users took a screen grab of a press conference he gave that they say showed he had 6 fingers, which is an indicator that a video is AI generated. Judging by the video, it appears clear that Netanyahu only has 5 fingers, but some screenshots appeared to give the illusion that he had 6.
Okay, over the weekend, before Netanyahu released the cafe video, conservative commentator Candace Owens wrote on X, "There is a cover-up afoot regarding the health of Bibi Netanyahu. What's going on? Haven't they lied enough?" But others weren't as convinced. Left-wing commentator Ad Krasenstein wrote on his X account, "Too many people are too quick to believe too many things." Yes. Actually, the one I saw over the weekend, maybe you saw this, Lindsay, maybe you didn't. Ian Carroll, that's friend of Candace Owens, popular independent content creator, journalist, fills in for Candace on her show sometimes. He shared a recording from the Epstein files of a woman that he claimed in a tweet. He said that it sounds like it's Erica Kirk. That it was Erica Kirk.
They're harassing that
girls
poor lady
for Epstein.
Yeah, I want them
not Erica Kirk,
Okay.
who was 16 at these events in question. It was Haley Robeson, that's the Epstein survivor that Ro Khanna brought to the State of the Union address. It was her procuring girls for Epstein, not Erica Kirk. So this, totally unfounded, slanderous, libelous rumor thriving online over social media. He deleted the tweet finally, forced to concede it was not her. He said, I only said it sounds like her, not that it is her. Okay, dude.
That gives that explains the tone you're taking as you had to forced to read that tweet from Candace Owens.
People be wilding out on social media. It's not.
So a lot of people talking about everything from stand-ins, lookalikes that need to be trained or something, because there are a lot of reports that he is no longer with us. But we're going to look a little deeper into it. Let's go over across the pond and talk about some of this Netanyahu business on social media.
Out the war spreading online. So let's take a look into these theories, who is saying them, and what it shows about the state of social media in its current iteration. First of all, let's discuss the theory about Benjamin Netanyahu's death. This has been pushed by the IRGC-linked Tasman news agency, claiming the Israeli Prime Minister was killed in a missile last week, and that has been piggybacked by many a social media user. There is zero basis for this. A picture claiming to show him being taken out of the rubble was doctored by AI. Netanyahu was last seen in public in Beit Shemesh at the scene of a deadly impact on March the 2nd and in Beersheba on March the 6th. Since then, it is assumed that he has stayed in close proximity to a bunker for fairly obvious reasons. In this safe space, he gave a press conference last Thursday that led to dozens of bizarre conspiracy theories. First of all, he does not have six...
Now put a 1 in the chat if you think Netanyahu is still alive. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he's dead. All right, I want to hear from you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Netanyahu is still alive. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he's dead. Let's go.
Fingers on his hand. That is a crease in his palm. Another picture, supposed to show that he has 6 fingers on his left hand, clearly shows that he has 5. Both of these implied that this was AI generated. The Prime Minister has since acknowledged the stupid conspiracy theories, saying he is alive, drinking coffee, and showing that he has the normal number of fingers. And on the subject of AI, dozens of fake videos of Tel Aviv supposedly getting bombed have circulated. And this has been coupled with claims that the media is not showing you the truth because of IDF press censorship. Listen, if you speak to anyone on the ground or see videos from the streets, you can see that this is quite clearly not the case. In total, 1 building in Tel Aviv was destroyed and dozens have been damaged. And if you want to see how much the media has hidden this is me reporting for I24 News social media, and this is me reporting for I24 News TV the day after the missile landed on March the 1st. So it's not hiding it very well, but that hasn't stopped some people from saying otherwise.
A Tel Aviv that now looks like Gaza. How do I know that? Because I've got friends in Tel Aviv. Sheinkin Street, Tel Aviv. Near Dizengoff Square, Tel Aviv. And they've been walking around,
George.
and it's they who tell me from their own mouth that Tel Aviv now looks like Gaza. How could it not?
That fedora-wearing crank is British politician George Galloway, a man who has dedicated his life to spreading defamatory lies about the West, doing so on his appearances on Russian and Iranian state TV. First of all, George, Schenken Street is about a 50-minute walk away from Dizengoff Square. You have to go down King George Street, turn the left on Dizengoff Street, but either way, they're not close. And secondly, George Galloway famously refused to debate a young Elon Levy because he is Israeli. So I highly doubt that he has friends who live in central Tel Aviv. But the thing is, that doesn't matter. Because social media is a mass content providing machine.
This guy.
It doesn't matter if you are right, you just have to be loud enough to be seen. In fact, being wrong makes you louder. Here's how
we're going to look at all different angles here, guys.
Algorithm works according to its open source coding. Each action has a weighted point score. Liking a post is worth 0.5 points. A reply is worth 13.5 points, 27 times as much as a like. And an author of the post responding to a reply is worth 75 points, 150 times more than a like. The more points you get, the more traction it gets. And with X monetizing...
I didn't know that.
posts, you can profit off this very easily. So if you respond to a post, even one to say that it's clearly fake, it will get that post boosted. And with the amount of content someone sees while scrolling through social media, most people don't have the time to verify everything that they see, so their brain will suspend disbelief and take it as fact.
A lot of X is a total shit show, I gotta say.
And that is how fake news spreads, cyclically and destructively. Some people take advantage of the algorithm to make a quick buck from social media platforms. Others are from state level in order to muddy the waters with what's true and what's not.
So this was their report on Netanyahu. We're going to go to another one right here. This is from Cross World News. You know, we're just finding the people that are covering it. Let's see what they got to say. Here we go.
What is happening right now is not just another dramatic rumor moving across social media. It is a serious information battle unfolding in the middle of one of the most intense regional confrontations in recent memory. Iranian state-linked media has pushed a major claim suggesting that Israel's top leader may have been severely affected in recent strikes. And that message has spread quickly because it arrived during a period of...
In this war council meeting, Netanyahu didn't show up to. So that's pretty interesting. Another thing that you guys are hearing a lot about is Karg Island. Oh, you know what? I'm going to jump to this one first. So this is another, what's supposed to be a proof of life video about Netanyahu. Let's have a look.
Coming out for fresh air?
Yes.
Very nice. Look, Jerusalem.
This is a translation. This is in Hebrew.
Anything more beautiful than this?
About Jerusalem.
Nothing's like Jerusalem. Nothing.
Rumors surrounding the alleged death of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have circulated widely on social media in recent days. However, the Israeli leader appeared in a newly shared video on X, seemingly addressing the speculation and showing that he remains active in public. The short clip, posted on his official social media account, shows Netanyahu speaking casually with people at what appears to be an outdoor cafe. The video quickly gained attention online as it came shortly after numerous posts falsely claimed the Israeli Prime Minister had been killed. The caption accompanying the video read, "Sticking to the guidelines and winning together."
Okay, soak up some sun. Hello to you. Whose dog is it?
Ours.
What kind is this?
An Israeli respondent.
Israeli? All due respect. Well, she deserves some too.
A true Israeli. To all of you.
You all deserve it. Thank you.
That.
Coming out for fresh air?
Yes.
Very nice. Look, Jerusalem. Is there anything more beautiful than this?
About Jerusalem.
Nothing's like Jerusalem. Nothing. Wonderful.
He went crazy over it.
I remember that.
You remember?
Yes.
His name is Guy.
It was on the plane. Send him my regards.
Thank you.
How wonderful. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello to you all. Did you also come out to get some fresh air?
I came out to get some fresh air. You're saying a shelter in a place like this?
A shelter? Where is it? Do you know?
Right over there, of course. The first thing to do is check.
A few steps from here, right?
A few steps.
Good. That's the most important thing.
And we are going to jump back to this, but we are going to go also to Netanyahu's X account. We're going to see that right here. And so you can see the original version.
פה עם שיר ושיר. איזה יופי.
תודה רבה.
תודה, תודה לכם.
תודה רבה.
תודה לכם. טוב, קצת לספוג שמש. תודה לכם. של מי הכלב? שלך. איזה סוג זה?
כנענית, ישראלית.
כנענית ישראלית, כל הכבוד. טוב, גם לה מגיע קצת.
ישראלית אמיתית.
יאללה, לכולכם מגיע. יצאתם להתעורר קצת?
כן.
יפה מאוד. תראה, על ירושלים, יש משהו יותר יפה מזה?
אין על ירושלים.
אין על ירושלים, אין, נהדר.
הוא השתגע מזה.
תשמע, אני זוכר את זה.
אתה זוכר?
ירושלים,
זה היה במטוס. אוקיי, תמסרו לו דש. איזה יופי. שלום. שלום לכם. גם אתם יצאתם קצת להתעורר?
קצת להתעורר. כמובן שיש מרחב מוגן במקום כזה.
מרחב מוגן, איפה את יודעת?
ממש שמה, בטח. א' ב' זה לבדוק.
כמה צעדים מכאן?
Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's AI. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it's not AI. All right? 1 for AI, 2 for not AI. Let me hear you.
יופי, זה הכי חשוב.
צה"ל ינצח ואנחנו נשמור על עצמנו.
מצוין, זה בדיוק.
חד משמעי.
את אמרת הכי טוב. הציבור מבין את העניין. אבל הנה הפרט הכי חשוב. איך קוראים לך?
שיר.
מה ששיר אמר, ואת?
שיר גם.
יש לנו שני שירים כאן. מה ששיר ושיר אמרו זה הדבר המרכזי. צריך להבין, זה דורש אורך רוח, אבל זה גם אפשר לפעמים לצאת לרוח, להתאוורר, אבל תמיד להיות ליד מרחב מוגן, וגם פה יש. פה עם שיר ושיר.
All right, so let's have a listen to this in English, right? We were just watching it in Hebrew. So let's go back to the English translation. You could sort of hear some of the translations. And here we go.
Coming out for fresh air?
Yes.
Very nice. Look, Jerusalem, is there anything more beautiful than this?
About Jerusalem.
Nothing's like Jerusalem. Nothing.
Rumors surrounding the alleged death of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have circulated widely on social media in recent days.
Hit the like
However,
button.
the Israeli leader appeared in a newly shared video on X, seemingly addressing the speculation and showing that he remains active in public. The short clip, posted on his official social media account, shows Netanyahu speaking casually with people at what appears to be an outdoor cafe. The video quickly gained attention online as it came shortly after numerous posts falsely claimed the Israeli Prime Minister had been killed. The caption accompanying the video read, "Sticking to the guidelines and winning together."
Okay, soak up some sun. Hello to you.
Hello to you.
Whose dog is it?
Ours.
What kind is this?
An Israeli respondent.
Israeli? All due respect. Well, she deserves some too.
A true Israeli. To all of you.
You all deserve it. Thank you.
Back.
Coming out for fresh air?
Yes.
Very nice. Look, Jerusalem, is there anything more beautiful than this?
About Jerusalem.
Nothing's like Jerusalem. Nothing. Wonderful.
He went crazy over it.
I remember that.
You remember?
Yes.
His name is Guy.
It was on the plane. Send him my regards.
Thank you.
How wonderful. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello to you all. Did you also come out to get some fresh air?
I came out to get some fresh air. You're saying
A shelter in a place like this?
A shelter? Where is it? Do you know?
Right over there, of course. The first thing to do is check.
A few steps from here, right?
Few steps.
Good. That's the most important thing.
And we'll keep up the practice.
Excellent. That's exactly.
absolutely.
Well, you really said it best, so please listen.
Get some fresh air.
The public understands the matter. But here's the most important detail. What's your name?
Sure.
What Shur said. And you?
And sure as well.
We have two Shurs here. What Shur and Shur said, that's the main thing. You have to understand it requires patience. But also, sometimes you can go out for some air to get some fresh air.
Social media has recently been flooded with claims that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was killed amid the ongoing tensions in the Middle East. The speculation began spreading after U.S.-Israeli strikes on Tehran reportedly killed Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Soon after, several unverified posts claimed Netanyahu had been killed or seriously injured in an Iranian strike. The rumors intensified when some social media users began scrutinizing a video posted from Netanyahu's official social media accounts. Some users claimed the footage appeared to show the prime minister with 6 fingers, suggesting the clip had been generated using artificial intelligence.
Do you guys think he had 6 fingers? I saw 5. I don't know what you guys saw. What did you guys see?
The situation quickly turned into a viral debate online, with users questioning whether the footage was real or a deepfake. The buzz reignited after the Israeli Prime Minister's official X account shared a sarcastic video showing him ordering a coffee at what seems to be a roadside mini-market. In the video, Netanyahu mocked the reports of his death and quipped, "I am dead for coffee."
Thank you. What did you ask me?
Do you think that people online are saying you're actually dead?
I'm crazy about coffee. You know what? I'm crazy about my people, how fantastically they behave. Do you want to count the number of fingers?
Can you show us?
Right over here. Right here. Did you see?
Very nice.
Cheers to you.
Do you have a message for...
I mean, the mouth isn't exactly matching what he's saying. I'm not sure if this is another... Oh, no, this is another translation. All right. I thought this was in Hebrew.
People who are going out and getting some air?
Go out and get some fresh air, but stay near a protected area. And your resilience is amazing. It gives strength to me, to the government, to the IDF, to the Mossad. We're doing things that I can't share at this moment, but we're taking action, hitting Iran very hard, even today, and continuing in Lebanon as well. You tell me to keep going, and I say to all of you, keep going as well. Continue to follow the instructions of the Home Front Command at all times. Follow the instructions of the Home Front Command and also those of the city leaders. Always stay near a protected area. We will ease things as much as possible, and thank you for the excellent coffee. I don't know about the calories. It seems very dangerous to me.
Several users on X also claimed that the newly posted video was an AI-generated deepfake. Some users also attached screenshots and clips of his coffee cup.
So a lot of them were talking about the coffee, how the coffee wasn't spilling over. You know, maybe that's like a tight foam on the top.
Which purportedly shows his coffee
I'd go either way,
defying gravity and not spilling. Some also pointed out that Netanyahu has a dominant left hand, while the video shows him drinking coffee with his right hand. Replying to a user's query, X's AI chatbot, Grok, labeled the coffee shop video as AI-generated content.
Uh-oh. See, I do that. I'll go and I'll ask Grok. Grok says it's a fake.
The cafe that hosted Benjamin Netanyahu has shared photos and a message about his visit, offering another indication that he remains active and well. The Jerusalem cafe, the Sataf, posted images on Instagram showing Netanyahu enjoying coffee during a visit. Let's listen to the speech of Benjamin Netanyahu again, which sparked the rumors of his death.
Hit the like button for me, guys.
Citizens of Israel, my brothers and sisters, we are in historic days, days that will be etched in the history of Israel. In Operation Lion's Roar, our roar is growing louder and stronger.
Oof.
We are crushing the terror regime in Iran. We are striking and crushing its proxies.
The regime of terror.
Hezbollah in Lebanon. In an unprecedented cooperation between Israel and the United States, we have achieved immense accomplishments, achievements that change the balance of power in the Middle East and beyond. These achievements establish Israel's position as a power stronger than ever before. And this dramatic change in our power against the power of our enemies is the key to ensuring our existence.
Boy, that looks pretty weird to me. I'll tell you what.
Threats rise and threats fall.
Oh, come on. Who does
But
that? Who does threats rise and threats fall? Who does that?
Become a regional power, and in certain fields a global power, we have the strength to push dangers away from us and ensure our future. In 1993, I published an article in one of the newspapers and wrote in it, "The greatest danger to Israel's existence is not in the Arab countries, it is in
talking about his hands. This is AI translated.
Iran." Since then, for over 30 years, the murder...
See it down in the lower left corner. These are AI translated. These were all originally in Hebrew.
Ayatollah regime has indeed acted to harm the United States and the West. But first and foremost, it acted to advance its plan for the destruction of Israel. It did so on 3 levels. First, it built an axis of evil with terror armies of Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, the Assad regime, and others. The second level, it acted to establish an array of tens of thousands of lethal ballistic missiles. And the third level, it acted to develop atomic bombs.
I know what you're talking about, though. It was the other thing where they said the ring disappeared in the shot.
With the declared goal of wiping us off the face of the earth. Well, it will not do that. As Prime Minister of Israel, I led many overt and covert operations that delayed Iran and diminished its capabilities. But at the same time, we built our own military capabilities, our technological capabilities, our diplomatic capabilities to strike Iran with force and to distance the threats from us. All these efforts converged into the war of resurrection to a people like a lion, and now to the lion's roar.
The beginning was in Hebrew, and then they just, switched it.
In the war of resurrection, we severely damaged...
To have him, I think, matched up to the rest of the AI video.
The axis of evil, it is still there, but with much lesser capabilities. We are committed to completing the task to bring security to all citizens of Israel and especially to the residents of the North, as we are doing and will continue to do for the residents of the South. Hezbollah feels the might of our arm and will feel it even more intensely. It will pay a very heavy price for its aggression. In Operation Emek Lavi, we also broke through for the first time, paving the way for a comprehensive strike on Iran's massive missile stockpile and its additional missile production facilities. We did the same regarding its nuclear project, including...
Let's watch some of the original one here. This is the original. Okay, let's have a look.
Citizens of Israel, my brothers and sisters, we are in historic days, days that will be written in the annals of Israel. In Operation Roaring Lion, our roar is growing and intensifying. We are pummeling the Islamic regime in Tehran. We are pummeling its emissaries, Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's unprecedented coordination between Israel and the U.S. and achieved substantial achievements that are changing the reality in the West Bank, in the Middle East and beyond. These achievements are increasing the status of Israel as a superpower more than ever. Through our power in opposition to the power of our enemies, this is what is ensuring our survival. Our threats come and go, but when we become a regional superpower, and in many respects a global superpower, we have the power to push away threats and ensure our future. In 1993, I published an article in one of the newspapers in which I wrote, the biggest threat to the state of Israel is not in Arab states, but it is in Iran. Since then, for over 30 years, the murderous Ayatollah regime indeed has acted to attack the U.S. and the West. But first and foremost, it worked to...
Yeah, just something's a little off about it. You know what I mean? Something seems off.
Implement its plan to destroy the state of Israel. It did it in 3 levels. The first, it built an axis of evil with Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, the Assad regime, and others. The second level, it operated to build tens of thousands of lethal ballistic missiles. And the third level, it worked to develop atomic bombs in a clear, open statement to erase us from the face of the earth. It will not achieve this. As Prime Minister of Israel, I led known and unknown actions that hurt Iran, that hindered its ability, and we have built our own military and technological capabilities, diplomatic capabilities, to strike Iran forcefully and to remove from over us these threats. All these efforts have joined together into the war from October 7th, the Rising Lion and Roaring Lion. We have significantly hurt the Islamic regime. It is still there, but it has been significantly weakened. We are determined to complete the job, to bring security to all citizens of Israel and the residents of northern Israel and southern residents. Hezbollah feels our wrath, and it will feel our wrath significantly and will pay a very heavy price on its aggression. In Operation Rising Lion, for the first time, we established the route to significantly hurt Iran's ballistic missile program and the production capabilities for new missiles. The same thing with the nuclear program, by delivering a heavy blow to the nuclear scientists who planned to build a nuclear bomb to erase us. They have been removed, so they cannot achieve that. After Rising Lion, me and President Trump warned the Supreme Leader of Iran, if you will try to rebuild your death industries, we will hit you in a force that you have never known. Not only did he not listen, he opened in a speedy attempt to build more ballistic missiles and to hide them deep, deep underground, beneath tall mountains. If we wouldn't act immediately, within a few months, the death industry of Iran would have been immune from any strike. That is why we went together into this operation, the U.S. and Israel, to continue what we did in Rising Lion, to prevent Iran to develop a nuclear weapon, to prevent Iran from developing ballistic missiles that would threaten Israel, the U.S., and the entire world. This is our...
So do you think the reports are true? Right? Do you think the reports are true that Netanyahu is dead? Let me know in the chat. Hit that like button. Let's get this to 300 likes. We're almost there.
In a short amount of time, we eliminated the dictator Khamenei and numerous leaders in the regime of terror. We eliminated the old tyrant, and the new tyrant, Mujtaba, a puppet of the IRGC, cannot show his face in public. We are pummeling the nuclear industry, the ballistic missile industry, and the launchers, the key points of power of the regime. Simultaneously, we are working to advance a new objective, to create the conditions for the Iranian people that can remove this tyrant regime that is oppressing it for nearly 50 years. We are delivering decisive blows on the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, the Basij, in its headquarters, in its checkpoints, and there's still more to come. To the Iranian people, I say, the moment that you can embark on a new journey of freedom, this moment is coming closer. We stand by your side. We are helping you. But at the end of the day, it is up to you. It is in your hands. Already now, we can say clearly, in certainty, it is not the same Iran, this is not the same Middle East, and this is not the same Israel. We are not waiting, we are initiating, we are attacking, and we are doing this in unprecedented force. We establish an unprecedented alliance with the United States, with our great friend, my personal friend, President Trump. We talk nearly on a daily basis. We speak freely, as if we're in a bar, exchanging ideas and deciding together. President Trump told me something that I want to share with you a short hour ago. This is what he told me. The relations between us are stronger 100-fold than any other relations that a U.S. president had with the Prime Minister of Israel. We are not thinking only on our countries, on this generation. We are thinking of the next generations, the future of humanity. In these days, my people and I are establishing new alliances with regional countries, alliances that up until a few weeks ago would have appeared unimaginable. And we are doing this through the tremendous might that we have built, through the great abilities of our commanders, and through your steadfastness, the citizens of Israel. I know that you are adhering to the Home Front Command guidelines. You are entering time after time to the safe zones and shelters. I know this isn't easy. I know this is very hard, especially in the north. But by adhering to these guidelines, you're also saving lives and also giving the breathing room and support to me.
So let's have a look at the AI translated here. Let's have a look.
A devastating blow to senior Iranian scientists. They were the ones leading the development of the atomic bombs intended to destroy.
Okay, now this is his audio.
Us. They are no more. And by the way, we just hit a few more. After Emek Lavi, President Trump and I warned the tyrant Khamenei. We told him, if you try to rebuild your industries of death, we will strike you with a force you have never known. Not only did he not listen to us, he launched an accelerated effort to restore the nuclear and missile program, and this time to bury them deep, deep underground beneath high mountains. If we hadn't acted immediately, within a few months, Iran's industry of death would have been immune to any strike.
Hit that like button, guys.
That is why we launched this campaign together, the United States and Israel, to continue what we started in Emek Lavi. To prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, to prevent Iran from developing ballistic missiles that would threaten Israel, the United States, and the entire world. This is our objective. In a short time, we eliminated the tyrant Khamenei and many senior officials in the terrorist regime. We eliminated the old tyrant and the new tyrant, Mushtaba, the puppet of the Revolutionary Guards.
Mushtaba.
He cannot show his face in public. We are crushing the nuclear infrastructure, the missile and launcher arrays, the suppression headquarters, the regime's power centers, and many more targets. At the same time, we are working toward another goal, creating the conditions for the Iranian people to overthrow the cruel, tyrannical regime that has oppressed them for nearly 50 years. We are dealing crushing blows to the Revolutionary Guards and the Basiji, both in the streets and at checkpoints, and there is much more to come. I say to the Iranian people, the moment when you can embark on a new path of freedom, that moment is drawing near. We stand with you, we are helping you, but at the end of the day, it is up to you. It is in your hands. Even now we can say with certainty, this is no longer the same Iran, it is no longer the same Middle East, and it is no longer the same Israel. We do not wait, we take the initiative, we strike, and we do so with unprecedented force. We forged an unprecedented alliance with the United States, a bond with our great friend, my personal friend, President Trump. We speak almost every day, talking freely and openly, staying focused, exchanging ideas and advice, and making decisions together. President Trump told me something that I want to share with you. Just a short while ago, he told me this. The relationship between us is 100 times stronger than any relationship that's ever existed between an American president and an Israeli prime minister. We're not just thinking about our countries or just this generation, we're also thinking about future generations, about the future of humanity. In these days, my team and I are forging additional alliances with countries in the region. Alliances that, until just a few weeks ago, seemed like pure fantasy. And we are doing all of this. We do this thanks to the immense power we've built, thanks to the great heroism of our commanders and soldiers, and thanks to your steadfastness, citizens of Israel. I know that you are strictly following the Home Front Command's instructions.
That thing is weird.
Time and again, you are entering the protected spaces. I know it's not easy. I know it's also very difficult right now in the north, but by following these guidelines, you're saving lives and providing the backing and breathing room for me, the Israeli government, the IDF, and the security forces to achieve our campaign goals. As President Trump told me quite directly, only in Israel are the rescue flights reversed. Everywhere else in the world, people want to flee from combat zones. But only here in Israel, everyone wants to come back. Where does this spirit come from? He always asks me. And I answer him. This is the secret of our success. This is the resilience of our people. This is the power of our faith. The faith in the eternity of Israel.
All right. So we're going to go over to some of the questions that Trump took earlier at that press conference, and we have them just all lined up for you. Thank you. Hit the like button, guys.
What we're going to do is we're going to, we could take a few questions from the press. And then after that, we'll have our meeting, and we have a little lunch for the board.
Lunch.
So we'll have a little bit of a lunch. And it's an honor to have you all here. It's so many of you, Jimmy, so many of you are friends. It's a great honor to have you here. And we're going to do a great job with the Trump Kennedy Center. Okay, yes, please, CNN.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not CNN, I'm Daily Wire, but thank you for the question. Numerous countries have told me they are on their way. Can you give us a hint what they are, what that entails, how soon they might be there?
You mean who are the countries?
Yes, sir.
I'd rather not say yet, but we'll be announcing Marco Rubio and the various people that are doing that will be announcing. And we do, I have to tell you, we have some that are really enthusiastic. They're coming already. They've already started to get there. You know, it takes a little while to get there. It's like, in some cases, you have to travel an ocean. So it doesn't go that fast. But it'll go fast, and we have some that are fairly local that are doing it, but we'll give you a list. Some are very enthusiastic, and some are less than enthusiastic, and I assume some will not do it. I think we have one or two that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years at, you know, tens of billions of dollars, Mr. Speaker. So I'll be reporting that to you in the House and the Senate. And I'll say, why are we protecting countries that don't protect us? And I've always felt that was a weakness of NATO. We were going to protect them, but I always said, when in need, they won't protect us. Now, this isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. But I will say that we built the greatest military in the world, and we protect people. And if we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us because we've helped them for years stay out of wars. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Can you tell us if you have spoken with French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Have you been speaking with the French President?
What does that mean?
Have you been speaking with the French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I have spoken to him. He's been on a scale of 0 to 10. I'd say he's been an 8. Not perfect, but it's France. We don't expect perfect.
Are you confident that France will help with the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz?
But it's France. Yeah, I mean, sure. I think he's going to help. I mean, I'll let you know. I spoke to him yesterday.
Have McDonald's.
I don't do a hard sell on them because my attitude is,
I love a Royale with cheese.
We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But It's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away, separated by a vast ocean. We don't have to do that, but we did it. Well, Biden did it. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Biden got taken to the cleaners. But we worked with them in Ukraine. We don't need to work with them in Ukraine. And then they tell us that we have a mine chip around, and they don't want to do it. I think it's terrible. No, I was very surprised. I told him, we requested 2 aircraft carriers, which they had, and he didn't really want to do it. And then right after the war essentially ended, meaning they were obliterated, he said, I would like to send the aircraft carriers. I said, I don't need them after the war has ended and won. I need it before the war. So I was very upset not upset, I was not happy with the UK. I think they'll be involved, yeah, maybe. But they should be involved enthusiastically. We've been protecting these countries for years with NATO, because NATO is us. You can ask Putin. Putin fears us. He has no fear of Europe whatsoever. He fears the United States of America and the military that was built by me in the first term. Yeah.
President, you mentioned the significant amount of oil that China derives from the Middle East. What is the status of your conversation with President Xi in terms of getting China to cooperate, in terms of making the Strait of Hormuz safe for those oil tankers?
Yeah, so China is a great example. They get 91% of their oil from the Hormuz Straits, which we protected for years. And it always bothered me that we have these countries. Japan gets 95% of its from the Straits, the Hormuz Straits. And it always bothered me that we're protecting and we don't need them. We didn't need them before we started dig we must. Dig me must, that's the Trump policy of lots of oil. And we didn't use them very much. It used to be at 10%. Now it's at almost zero. We don't need, we don't need oil. We have all the oil we need for ourselves. It's one of the great assets that we have. We have more than double what anybody else in terms of oil production. We're at more than double any other country. So we don't need it, but we did it. It's almost, you could say we did it out of habit, which is not a good thing to do. But we did it because we have some good allies there. We have some great Middle Eastern countries there, Israel there. So we did it for a lot of reasons. But it always amazed me that we did it. We never asked for reimbursement. And it was really there to serve other countries, not us. And by the way, we have the Sugar King. The same story. Look at that. Alfie von Hool. Alfie, thank you both very much. Huh? That's Pepe, yeah. Pepe. Hi, Pepe. How are you? How are you? Is Alfie in the backstage? Huh? Is he sitting back there waiting for you? No? You doing all right? Pepe is a great friend of all of ours, I think, in the room. Tremendous. And we appreciate you being here. Great to have you. Thank you.
Mr. President, honored.
That's great. Both of you. Thank you very much. So go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you've said that Iran does want to make a deal. Now, into the third week of this bombing campaign, what would that deal look like? What are the ask that you're making of the government?
They want to make a deal. They're talking to our people. I don't know if they say that to you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Don't forget, they are a country that for years, I didn't know this until recently, they're a country based on disinformation. And now they're using disinformation plus AI. And that's a terrible situation. That's a terrible situation. They showed all sorts of things happening in the last 2 weeks that never happened. Between their kamikaze boats that don't exist, between blowing up the aircraft carrier, one of the great ships in the world, the Abraham Lincoln on fire. They showed it on fire. I called the general. I said, General, what's with the Abraham Lincoln? It looks like it's burning down. No, it's not burning down. Not a bullet was ever fired at it, sir. They know better. I said, this is my first glimpse of AI and what they've done with it. They showed buildings in Tel Aviv burning to the ground, high-rises burning. They showed buildings in Qatar. They showed buildings in Saudi Arabia burning, and they weren't burning. They weren't hit. It was all AI-based. Terrible. It's terrible.
And there's a lot of AI being brought out, and this story is clearly still moving. Netanyahu's status, it's really, it looks like it's a massive question mark. Iran's new supreme leader reportedly injured, and Trump is out there saying there's no deal on the table. There's no backing down. So if this helped you cut through some of the chaos, hit that like button. Subscribe, hit the notifications. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm so glad that you all joined me today. I'm going to be watching for any confirmed updates on Netanyahu's location, so hit those notifications as well. Iran's leadership situation, Trump's position, all that stuff. We got it all because you just gave me 90 minutes and I gave you the world. Truth is a moving target, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me.